The GD1 invisible bullet. In our galaxy, there are long trails of stars called stellar streams. Think of them as slow rivers of stars that form when a cluster of stars gradually gets pulled apart by gravity over billions of years. GD1 is one of the longest and thinnest of these streams in the Milky Way, and for a while it seemed perfectly normal. Then astronomers took a closer look and found something wrong. There was a gap, as if something had punched straight through it, and just beside that gap, a clump of stars had been pushed off to the side, like debris scattered from a collision. Scientists ran simulations and found that these features could be the result of the stream encountering an incredibly dense, massive object. They started looking for what could have caused it, checking the orbits of all known satellites in the galaxy, but none had crossed paths with GD1 recently. They also considered whether giant clouds of gas could be responsible, but found they were not dense enough. Nothing known fit the size and force needed to produce that kind of damage. We don't have a 100% confirmed definitive explanation, but the leading theory is that something made almost entirely of dark matter passed through the stream like a bullet, the space roar. In 2006, NASA sent a balloon high above Earth's atmosphere, carrying an instrument called Arcade. The goal was to look for faint heat signals from the very first stars that existed. Instead of those faint signals, they heard a roar from the distant reaches of the universe. The signal was 6 times louder than expected. Scientists have tried several explanations, but the space roar does not fit any existing models, and as of today, its origin remains unexplained. The Vasco Project. The night sky is supposed to be stable, since stars take millions or billions of years to die, and when they do, they usually go out in an explosion bright enough to be detected across the universe. However, there's a problem. Researchers participating in the Vasco project compared a star catalog from the 1950s, listing around 600 million objects, with a much more recent sky survey that can detect stars 5 times fainter than the older one. They found roughly 150,000 objects in the old catalog that had no match in the new one. Most of those turned out to have normal explanations, such as camera errors, brief flashes, moving objects, etc. But after careful inspection of tens of thousands of candidates, a disturbing discrepancy was found. There were still 100 points of light that appeared only in the older survey and nowhere else since. They had simply vanished, with no normal explanation. No afterglow, no remnant, no detectable debris. There were many theories that tried to explain this phenomenon, and among them, there was a really wild one. Keep in mind that VASCO is also a SETI project, acronym for Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. The wild theory suggested that these stars had been completely enclosed, or their energy harvested, by an advanced civilization using technologies like Dyson spheres. Oh my God, particle. On the night of October 15, 1991, a detector in the Utah desert picked up something that physicists did not think was physically possible. A single particle, smaller than an atom, was streaking through the atmosphere carrying an almost unimaginable amount of energy. The particle possessed 320 exaelectron volts of energy, millions of times more than particles achieve at the most powerful particle accelerator ever built by humans. It was traveling incredibly close to the speed of light itself. Here is why it was so alarming. There is a known physical limit called the GZK limit, which describes how much energy a cosmic ray particle can hold before the background radiation of the universe strips that energy away during travel. Anything above that limit should not be able to cross large